Hi, I'm Ruby Hall. PDJ number 88525, the 2018 Oregon Disc Golf Champion, here at Milo McIver in Estacada with Alexis, here to do my in the bag. I grew up in Salt Lake City with a really awesome course in my neighborhood. In 2003, when I was 8, my dad took me out and introduced me to the sport. The disc that I learned how to throw first was a steady ed blowfly, floppy, best pass disc ever. I threw it for basically every shot. And then when I was 14, I started to play a lot more regularly with my brothers, just learning from each other and having fun. 2.5 years ago, I moved to Oregon, and I really excelled and became more aware of form and technique. I had an increase in power and started to think a little bit more about the mental game and other aspects of disc golf. The disc that I carry in my bag. So I carry 2 defenders. One's a Lucid 170 and one's a Biofusion 171. I use the Lucid one more for headwinds because I can crank on it a little more and rely on it to fade back. And then the Biofusion one is just a little bit more flippy, and I don't have to try as hard to throw it. But I really love the stability of these ones. They're really reliable. They always fade back unless a gnarly headwind just takes it away. So, love the Defender. It's great. A recent addition to my bag is the Ballista Pro. This one is a 173. At first, I thought it was a little too fast for me, but then I started to throw it a little more on a hyzer flip, and it does this really cool late turn with a reliable fade at the end, which I am really accustomed to because of the way that I was brought up. I kind of learned to throw that S-line first, but now that I've got a little more speed, I don't have to put as much effort, and I can just let the disc do what it's made to do. Next up, I've got a Moonshine Trespass, and this one's a little bit lighter. I like to use this one for uphill shots, and this is a really good backhand flex disc for me because I can make it understable, I can make it stable, and that lighter weight makes it a lot easier for, you know, uphills and downhills. And I really like the Moonshine plastic because if I don't flex it enough, or if I flex it too much, I can still rely on it to flatten up and fade a little bit at the end. So, Moonshine Trespass, awesome. Another new addition to my bag is a Fusion Renegade. I love this disc for its understability. Hyzer flip disc and hyzer disc. I'm starting to work up a forehand, and I like to use this one to practice the hyzer flip forehands rather than the flex. That's what I use my felon for. This one's also a 168, 169. So it's not too hard to throw. It's a pretty effortless disc. I also like this one for when I'm feeling ambitious and want to try to throw lefty because it's just an easy disc to throw. Alright, the last driver I've got in my bag is a first run Getaway. It's kind of like a fairway driver because it's not very fast. This one's a 171, Lucid plastic. I really like this one for flip up to straight, reliable fade at the end. If I really crank on it, try to flex it, it goes on that flex line a lot further than you would think, and it's got that reliable fade at the end. Alright, now on to fairway drivers. I've got a few. The Paige Pierce Lucid X Convict. Love this one. 175. I got this one in a max weight so I could really just try to crank on it and see its different flight options. If I throw this one fast on a hyzer, I can get it to stay on that hyzer, but if I put a little bit more angle on it, it will do an S-line, but definitely fade back at the end. This is kind of like my in the middle fairway. It's not too stable and it's not too understable. It's pretty easy for me to manipulate this one. And I really love the loosehead plastic because it's really, really tough. And I know that if I hit a bunch of trees, it's not really going to change the flight pattern of the disc. Next, the Felon. I think this is my favorite disc in my bag because it's so stable and it's not so fast, so it's not super hard to throw. This one's in lucid plastic and it's a 167. So I got this one a little bit lighter because of its stability. I knew if I got a max weight I would have to throw way too hard, and nobody likes that. It hurts. You gotta throw fast, not hard. I love this one for flex forehands, which I'm also trying to practice a little more, and just like straight, reliable fade shots. I can't really throw this disc super far because, I mean, it is a fairway and it's really stable, but it's very reliable, especially for, you know, spike hyzers, things like that. Alright. Oh, I have another mid-range, fairway. The Hybrid Escape. I love this disc. It is my more understable of my three fairways. The hybrid plastic is a little more stable than any of the other ones, which I really like. I like this disc for my S-lines. It's not very hard to throw. This one is a 174, so I can crank on it a little bit. Not very good disc for the headwind, but it's a really good disc for the woods because you can be really accurate with it. Alright, and mid-ranges. I have a Lucid Verdict 174. This is my favorite mid-range. I love it because it's pretty stable. I can crank on it and rely on it to go straight with a fade. I've been trying to get into more flex shots with it, but it's more of my straight flyer mid-range. Very reliable. Love the lucid plastic because of its stability, and the weight too. It's not too light, not too heavy. And then the complement to my Verdict is the Lucid Premack Truth. It's a 177. I got this one a little heavier so that I could crank on it a little more, and this one does more of an S-line. Although it is a little heavier, sometimes I can get it to just fly straight. If I pop it up on a little hyzer like this, it'll just glide and then fade back. I like having both of them in my bag. Some people think it's kind of redundant, but for me they do different things because I got them in different weight classes. But I really love the lucid plastic. It's great. Alright, I carry two Suspects, a Biofusion 174 and a Classic 175. I use this one more for further shots that I kind of want to get a little skip out of. It's on the slower mid-range side, so I don't need to throw it really, really far. I can throw it really straight, and it always fades back left. This one I use more for an approach, forehand or backhand, and the Classic plastic I really like because it really sticks where you want it to. This one will kind of skip, but I like to have them both because you never know what you're going to need. This one's also a little bit more stable than this one, so it would work a little bit better in a headwind. I love the Suspect. When I throw this disc, I use a modified fan grip instead of a power grip, just because I feel like it can be a little bit more accurate with it, and the power grip kind of makes it not really fly true to what it's made to do. So I modify fan grip that one. Alright. I just put this one in my bag. It's kind of like a Suspect but a little bit slower, and for me it's a lot more stable. So another approach disc. I don't really use it for forehand much because it's a little deep and it doesn't really feel too great in my hand for a forehand. That's why I like the Suspect. It's a little more narrow. This one is a 173, and I really like the fact that it's a little slower. Total approach disc, and it's got that sticky plastic, so it's not going to skip very far. It can kind of just shimmy and sit where you want it to be. Alright, and to my putters, I've got 4, and they are all pures. I have this hybrid pure that I use for driving. The hybrid plastic, again, is really stable. I use this disc a lot for patent pending shots and to get out of a rough spot, you know, pitch out. And the hybrid plastic is good for a little bit of a skip or a slide. And then for upshots that I don't want to slide, I use the Zero Medium Pures. These ones are 173. I really like the narrow profile of the Pure. It just fits really well in my hand because they're kind of tiny. And then for my in the circle putter, I use a 174 Burst Zero Hard Pure. And I like the hard plastic because it's just really solid. I also like to use this one for jump putts because if I put it on the anhyzer line, it'll just glide, dump right into the basket. Love, love, love the Pure. They're really great for throwing off the tee, and they're nice and stable. I have the AX2 grip bag, and I love it because it's really compact. It doesn't feel too bulky, and it's got surprisingly a lot of room. These side pockets can zip out to be a little wider. I've got a raincoat in here, I've got a couple towels, I've got hand warmers, I have way too many pencils. This pocket right here has 2 little mini pockets in here and a bigger one right there. The putter pocket fits 3 comfortably, sometimes I fit 4 in there. But I really like it's really easy to put discs in when it's already on my bag. I can just throw them in there. And I've also got a whale sack in here. Need this on those either rainy days or hot, humid, sticky days to keep your hands dry. And it's got 2 water bottle holders and these extra side pockets for minis. Good, it's a great bag. I love it. Nice and comfy. Growing up, I didn't have any women disc golfers around to kind of help me out, show me the ropes. But when I moved to Oregon, I learned about the Women of DGOD, and it's a really awesome community of women who are really supportive to anybody who's new to the sport or returning after years off. Great group of gals. If you're interested in the sport, I suggest you find a buddy because it's really easy to learn from somebody else. Take some videos and find one disc that you think you work really well with. Whether it's a mid-range or a putter or a fairway driver, just try to find something neutral that you can learn how to throw straight. And just remember that disc golf is very frustrating at times. You just got to stay positive, trust the process, you have your on and off days, and be patient because it's a game that you play against yourself and not anybody else. So you don't have to worry about whatever else is going on around you. You just got to think about your shot and your goals.